All right, okay. Hi guys, I'm George Fairbanks, and I want to thank the committee for organizing this great conference and inviting me to come speak with you guys. And some of you, maybe about half of you, were in a tutorial workshop yesterday, and we talked about similar topics. This is a slightly different spin on it. The big idea today is that we have an opportunity when we write programs to use them to let us think more clearly than if we were to do it by ourselves. And so the way I phrase that is that your code is your partner in thought. It seems like a good idea for me to give you a little bit of background about me so that you understand how I got to think about things this way. In my early days, when I was programming, the first challenge was, can I simply write software that works? And we've all been there. Like, remember in Computer Science 101 when you were trying to write a linked list, and all you cared about was, can I get it to work, right? No other concerns were bothering you. Later on, when I was programming professionally, I was exposed to Smalltalk. And one of the interesting things about Smalltalk and object-oriented programming was that they focused not just on making the software work, but also on expressing the problem domain, right? So you looked into the problem domain, you found the objects that were working, and you tried to show those objects in your programs. And so that led me to a career of doing training and consulting. And there was a particular kind of idea that was going on there involving using precise specifications. So if you're familiar with the Z specification language, there were things that grew out of that in the object-oriented world, like catalysis. And there was obviously work on design by contract at the time with Bertrand Meyer. So all these were not concerns about, can I make a program that works? But instead, can I think very clearly about the program that works? Am I confident that it's doing the right thing? So later on, when I went back to university, I studied software frameworks. And if you've used a software framework, you know it's both wonderful and difficult. It's wonderful because with a few lines of code, you can do very large things. It's very difficult because it's complicated to understand what small program you need to write in order to get these big things done. So software architecture was one of the topics at university, and my professors were involved with the creation of the professional domain of software architecture. And so I became interested in that as well. And I wrote a book about software architecture, which I think the primary contribution is it brings in a bunch of those ideas about how do we think about the problem domain while we're thinking about the software architecture. And most recently, I've been thinking about how we continue to do all those things we did before in the context of agile software development processes. I'm a big fan of the